Let's talk veggies today. So veggies are kind of one of those things where either you love them or you hate them. I used to really not care for veggies very much until I learned like different ways of cooking them and different ways that you can make them the base of your foods in a way of substituting foods that you love that aren't necessarily so healthy for you. For example, cauliflower. I never really cared for cauliflower all that much. I mean, I would eat it, but it wasn't something that I was like, oh my gosh, cauliflower. Usually like in a veggie tray with cauliflower in it, that would be the last thing that I would pick as far as eating it raw. However, when I learned how magical cauliflower really is, like cauliflower is the most versatile food. You can turn it into pizza crust. There's tons of recipes on Pinterest. Any of these that I'm talking about, just go to Pinterest and you can check out my board. Otherwise, just go and search like cauliflower pizzas. There's all kinds of recipes that you can find from any of these items that I'll talk about in this video. So you can make cauliflower pizzas. You can turn cauliflower into rice, throw it in a food processor, and then cook it like you would cook fried rice. You know, add some peanut sauce to it, add some shrimp, add a fried egg. Like, you can do so much with cauliflower. Sometimes I'll actually even just cut the cauliflower in half and then like cut steaks with it, and I'll roast those steaks in the oven and like I've used it as a bun before. The part I've also cut it up into like little cauliflower florets and put buffalo sauce and made buffalo chicken, and it tastes like you're eating buffalo chicken, but you're eating buffalo cauliflower. You can mash it and make it like mashed potatoes, but it's mashed cauliflower. Just add some like coconut oil or some olive oil, some pepper, mash it all up, and I've added a little bit of Greek yogurt instead of like butter to make it healthier, and it tastes so good, you guys, and it's so healthy. You're getting a ton of fiber, a ton of nutrition. It's a really great, cauliflower is just an amazing option. I think of it as like one of the most magical vegetables there is, because anything that you can turn, any vegetable that can turn into pizza or rice is pretty much magical. I have made tater tots out of cauliflower. I have cut it up and made like a hash, like substituting like just chunks of cauliflower so it kind of has that same potato chunks consistency, and made it into like a breakfast hash. You can do so much with cauliflower. So another one is zucchini. If you do not have a spiralizer, you should definitely invest in one. I use zucchini noodles or zoodles in so much. You can do like basically anything, any way that you would eat pasta, you can eat zucchini noodles. One of my favorite ways is with like olive oil and garlic and lemon juice and shrimp, kind of sauteed up. Otherwise, I've made spaghetti and meatballs with zoodles. You know, really just any substitute. It's a great substitute for pasta. And another thing, if you don't have a spiralizer, that's okay. You can use a potato peeler and just peel strips of the zucchini and use that as your pasta. That works just fine, and I've done that before. Peppers. Peppers are another great thing. Like, you can slice them up into like the size of like chips and use them to dip into, one of my favorite things is Greek yogurt with buffalo sauce or hot sauce. I love dipping peppers into that, because then you're still getting that crunchy type of you know, feeling when you're eating, kind of like chips, because I'm such a chip and dip type of person. I love chips, so it's a great substitute. Also, you can make like nachos and, you know, roast them in the oven with some cheese and some veggies on them and make them like nachos, but they're peppers. Another thing too, I love stuffed peppers with like rice, and there's so many different recipes for stuffed peppers, and having that as your base of your meal. Cabbage is also so good. One of my favorite ways to eat cabbage is by slicing it into steaks and roasting it in the oven for 400 degrees with just some olive oil drizzled all over it, some garlic, some minced garlic, and a little bit of pepper. It is so good. That is one of my favorite ways to have cabbage. Another thing that I love to do is I love to make unstuffed cabbage casserole. All it is sliced up cabbage. I steam it a little bit and I mix it with ground turkey, some crushed peppers, crushed tomatoes, some stewed tomatoes, some tomato paste, some brown rice, and pepper, and I mix it all together, and it is so good, and it is such a cheap way to feed a large amount of people. That's one of my favorite ways to eat cabbage as well. Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are such a good, I love, one of my favorite ways to eat Brussels sprouts is cutting them in half, and then I like to saute them up with olive oil and add shrimp and garlic and Parmesan cheese and have like a Brussels sprout shrimp scampi. It's really, really good. Another thing I like to do is cook a couple pieces of bacon and cook the Brussels sprouts right in there with the bacon. You don't need a whole lot. You obviously don't want to have too much bacon, but it just gives it a really, really good flavor. And then you're eating, you know, I think it's totally okay to have a couple pieces of bacon if it's gonna make you eat Brussels sprouts. And plus bacon, everybody loves bacon. Eggplant, you guys, I love to substitute different items, different vegetables for carbs. So eggplant is a great one. Just slice it up, roast it in the oven for a little bit, and use it as a bun. Use it as the base for a little mini pizza. Use it as a base for a little mini tortilla. And you know, you can just do so much with eggplant. And also, a lot of people, like, you know, they're like, I can't afford to eat healthy, it's just too expensive. You guys, you don't have to have all fresh vegetables on hand at all times. Like, using frozen vegetables and canned vegetables is totally okay. Yes, obviously, you know, fresh, raw, or fresh vegetables are the best option, but if you can't afford that, frozen vegetables and canned vegetables are better than no vegetables. So always have those things on your hand. Also, keep them in your freezer for when, you know, you get home, life happens. Like, maybe you haven't had time to go to the grocery store, or whatever the case, have some of those like steamable frozen vegetable packets on hand so you can throw them in the microwave so that you're always able to eat some sort of vegetable with every meal. It doesn't matter if they're canned, frozen, fresh, roasted, raw, however, just make sure you're eating vegetables with every single meal. Vegetables should be the main food group that you are eating every day. That's pretty much all I have for on the topic of vegetables, but I just wanted to make this little video for you guys with some of the ways that I eat vegetables and how I've kind of went from not liking vegetables and not eating vegetables at all to now I eat so many vegetables, it's crazy. Like, I eat a lot of vegetables every day, and I feel so much better. I'm fuller longer. I don't have as much cravings for junk because I'm getting so much nutrition from, for one, from Shakeology, and for two, from all the vegetables. So if you guys have any additional ways that you love to make vegetables or love to substitute out vegetables, comment them below, because I would love to hear everyone else's suggestions on ways that they substitute their vegetables for different foods that maybe aren't as healthy.